Hey, JC here. You got a few minutes? I want to talk to you about some things. It includes retirement in Thailand, but in this time of our lives, it includes a lot more than that. But I think we need a coffee first before we can sit down and talk about this stuff. Come along with me. I think there's a lot of things you need to know and a lot of questions to consider. Gotta love it. Going to 7-Eleven. Hello, how are you? Where you been? You want your latte in? Yeah. I don't know if that happened back home. Okay, let's go talk. Hey, JC, back. Well, a lot to talk about. I hope everybody that's watching this is safe and healthy. I know that the demographic of my YouTube channel fits into the high-risk people that might contract the coronavirus. And so I just want to reach out to you all and say I hope you all stay safe and healthy, and just share with you a little bit about what's going on in Thailand. It's funny, my channel is about retiring in Thailand, but as of right now, that's not an option for a lot of people. And the reason why, and this is constantly evolving and changing, by the time I get this edited and put up on YouTube, it might be different. But for right now, there's a lot of things happening. In your own country, you're probably locked down and can't leave. In fact, the United States says if you're in another country, don't even come home. So if you're in someplace like Thailand and you're an American, you'd be stuck here. Now, Thailand's going to make some adjustments for this. It just came out in the news that if you're in Thailand and you can't go home, then they're going to start issuing temporary visas, and those will be for 30-day increments. And so the thing about that is, yeah, say you can't go home or you can't leave and you need to get this 30-day extension or this 30-day visa, and you got to go to an immigration office to get it, which is going to be what? There won't be a lot of social distancing there, I can tell you, for sure, because immigration offices are usually pretty small and there's a lot of people in them. I'm hoping that immigration will set this up online, and if you already have a visa, you'll be able to get a 30-day extension or something online. That would be really great. It has been noted in the news that the Prime Minister has said really he doesn't really want a lot of people coming into the country at this point. There's a lockdown, or will be shortly. And so right now it hasn't extended to provinces and cities for the most part. Pubs and things like that have been shut down and aren't supposed to be operating for a little while. And that's for obvious reasons. Now, what I really wanted to talk to you all about was, now this, I think this is going to go on for a long time, people have reached out to me now. I'm not going to use the word experts because really this is unprecedented. So if somebody says there's an expert or something, I don't think there are experts. I think there's experts in their field. And I think there's people with credentials that can analyze a lot of information. And I've had people reach out to me that have extensive credentials and showed me information that I probably won't share right now on YouTube. But from all indications, this is going to go on a long time, which explains a lot to me. I did this video recently for YouTube, the last one I did, saying, hey, just 2 weeks. If we can do this for 2 weeks, we can flatten the curve. And sure enough, you will flatten the curve. In fact, I forget which country it is. One of the countries is saying that what they're going to do is they're going to lock down everybody for a period of like 2 weeks, then let them out into their normal activities, and then shut them down again so that they can get this curve going, because it needs to blow through. The virus needs to blow through the community, because it needs to affect those it's going to affect, basically, and they'll develop immunity to it, and the spread will become less and less. That's the plan anyway. And so what they want to do is not overwhelm the medical system. And so what they'll do is they'll let some people get infected, shut them down. And that way the amount of people that get infected that need help in a hospital, which is a small percentage of the total people that will get it, won't overwhelm the system. And then once that subsides, of course there's a lag time to all this, and they're going to do this little thing like that. And hopefully the peaks won't be beyond what their local medical system can handle. So that's the idea of that. As far as in Thailand, for the most part, things are normal. We haven't had any hoarding. There hasn't been a big disruption of supply chains yet. There are in some places, but for the most part, no. Are there people wearing masks? Yes. And in some cases, probably a good idea. And whether they're going to protect people or cause them more distress and higher probability of getting the virus, that's a matter of opinion. Because, you know, I can go into a shopping mall and I can show you why. It's very obvious why, like the WHO says, don't wear masks, because you look at the way people wear the mask. They're increasing their chances of getting the virus for the most part. And so I understand that, and I'm not going to say anything that, you know, they're not wearing the mask properly or they're going to infect their babies or something because they have the babies with the mask and they're moving them around. Anyway, for the most part, things are pretty much normal here, although I think that's going to change. And the reason I say that is because, like, if you look at the numbers of infected people and deaths in Italy, it's really high compared to other countries. And I think some of the reason for that is because they have an aging population and their society is really set up to where they might have 3 generations or more under one roof, which is similar to the way Thailand is. In Thailand, we don't separate like we do in the United States, where the kids go off and they have their own place and the parents have their own place and the parents get old and you put them in a home. That really doesn't happen so much in a place like Thailand. It's real interesting how that dynamic played out in Italy, because it created a lot of cases and a lot of deaths. And it could happen here. And on top of that, in Thailand, the people have to really be careful, because the normal way that people eat in Thailand, in Isan and places like that, not so much the more modern families that live in larger cities like Bangkok and stuff, but for the most part, you sit on the floor and there's communal bowls of food that you all eat out of. And as you can imagine, that probably wouldn't be a good idea with something like the virus, because you're going to be spreading germs much easier. So we'll see how all this plays out. I think they're going to have high numbers in Thailand, but right now they don't. And we'll see. You know, some people are saying, well, the heat's going to affect this. And there is a possibility that the heat and humidity does affect it. Even though it does get hot here, I don't think it's hot enough to chase away the virus. And so we'll see about that. So it's going to be interesting to see how long this goes on for. I really think it's going to go on for quite a long time. And so if you're in your own country the question will be, okay, when it does subside, whether it's, 2 months, 4 months, a year and a half, whatever, how are you going to be set? And what I mean by that is as far as retirement, because if you look at the VIX index, if you haven't lost all your money in the stocks yet and you haven't taken it out, there's a possibility you could. Because the sentiment hasn't been this bad since the Lehman Brothers disaster in America. And so it's all indications that there's going to be a bigger crash. Now you look at unemployment, the people are not going to be working, so it means we won't be buying. All these things have to do with the economy and business. And so there could be really big problems, and you could end up losing a lot of money within the market. I've always said, well, I don't need to really worry about membership and stuff like that because I had other means. But the market came unexpectedly to me because I'm busy doing other things, and so now I'm not in the position I was before. So if you see a Patreon thing, you'll know why. Anyway, and so people could lose money in the markets that they've invested their retirement, right? And I hope that's not you. Other people are going to lose money in the housing market. There's not going to be people buying houses for a while. The money might dry up. The demand certainly will dry up. People aren't going to be doing open houses and things like that. So there's a lot of ways this can affect the economy and people's retirement. And so it's time really to come up with a plan B, because when this all gets sorted out, are you going to have the amount of money to stay home and have a retirement that would be conducive or meets what your expectations were prior to this? And if you do have assets, would you be able to sell them? And what would they be worth? For me, I'm really happy I'm in Thailand. I can't even imagine being anywhere else and going through what I see people going through. And again, this could change in Thailand, but for right now, I feel really blessed that I'm here. And the question becomes, if you are in Thailand, of course, a lot of countries are saying don't go home, and I don't think it'd be a good idea to travel. Okay, so you're in Thailand. Then it becomes, where should you be living in Thailand? If it changes and there is disruptions in supply chains and things like that, it'd be a great idea if you stocked up. Unless there's some kind of pharmacological intervention or something like that, which I don't see happening anytime in the near future, then you need to think about where would be the best place to live. I really think you should stock up. And what I mean by that is have a couple months worth of food, non-perishable food, and supplies, necessary essentials. And so if something did happen, this does change, you can ride it out for a while. Okay, so where would you want to ride it out in Thailand? Where are you riding it out in your home country? If you're in a home country, are you in a city? If you're in a city, can you go to a store and get food? In Thailand, I've always said that these people are one step above hunter-gatherers here. The world that we know has been thrust upon them within a couple generations. And so a lot of people have relatives that have farms and stuff. They'd be able to go back home and grow their own food. Now, is that an option for us? Yeah, if you're married to or involved with somebody that has a family that has a farm or something, that's an option. We'd be able to go back, buy seeds, go back, plant a garden, have a little fish pond, have some rice, and you'd be able to wait this out. And so with Thai people that have that opportunity, people within the city that grew up in the city, not so much. But so what would it be for you? And I'm curious as to how foreigners living here will adjust to this. I look at it and say, okay, we could be in Cha'am, and right now it's great. You'd be at the beach. Everybody, there's still people coming to visit and, on holiday. And so it's got that feeling of a resort area. And all that's really great because that's the way it is now. But that could change quickly. And then, of course, we can't grow food there. Maybe go catch some squid or something. But, okay, would it be better to actually go to Isan, like where I am now, and hang out when that's family, build a little place, or get my standing room tent and hang out and wait this out? These are all the options. And so I just wanted to reach out and see how you all were doing. I hope you all are well, and have you start thinking about where you are now and with the situation the way it is, And if it escalates to another level, what would you do? What will your plans be? And this is not just for Thailand. This is for in your own country as well. What are your options? If your finances change, what are your options? Hopefully your health won't change. And I'm going to reiterate what I did in my last video. You really have to be cognizant of washing your hands constantly anytime you go out. That's number one, washing your hands. That's much better than hand sanitizers. Because once the hand sanitizer dries, yeah, you've killed what's on your hand, but you touch anything, you get it again. And so the soap and water is actually better because it won't dry out your skin, because hand sanitizers basically consist of alcohol. And so wash your hands constantly. Don't get your hands near your face. I can't tell you how many people, and I'm talking about members of my member site when I meet them and stuff like that, where we've got habits of resting our hand or doing something with our hands around our face, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Can't do that. Break that habit. And so be cognizant of that. Don't do that. Stay a certain distance away from other people, and you'll be able to go shopping and things like that. Note when you get out of the shopping center or the store or whatever, clean your hands. And you might be able to weather this storm. Because like I said, the demographic of us that fit within the people who watch my video and retire in Thailand, we fit into the demographics of the people that are high risk, either through age or through pre-existing conditions. And don't just think, I was said before, and I thought until I got more information about this, that the pre-existing was basically, you know, had respiratory issues. Any kind of immune system issues, heart issues, kidney issues, any of these predispose you. Those are comorbidities, right? And so people are not really being informed as to the whole situation. You know, there were a lot of things I didn't understand, which I now understand. You know, I kept saying to Nat and to members and stuff, what am I missing? None of this makes sense. If you look at what governments and countries and cities and everything were doing, it's like, wow, this is like overkill. And then you see pictures coming out of China where people would just drop on the street. They weren't in a hospital, they didn't have pneumonia, and so all these things didn't make sense to me. Until, like I say, people came forward to me with credentials and said, here, this is what you need to pay attention to. This is the reality of this. This is why I say, okay, I'm going to change my tune. It isn't 2 weeks. This could go on for a long time. And it could go in waves as well. Because two things I'm sure of is there's more than one receptor. A lot of people are saying the ACE2 receptor. And that is, right now, the most prevalent receptor that's being attacked. But there are other ones. And so it can switch between that and other ones, so you could end up with different waves of illnesses as this progresses. And like I said, it affects different systems within the body as well. So you need to really be careful. Really pay attention. And stay well. Get healthy too. Start exercising and eating lots of fruits and vegetables while you have fresh food. You know, use it to get healthy. As long as you can still exercise, do it. Get healthy. Boost your immune system. If you even have 1 hour of sun that's above 50 degrees on the horizon where you can get some vitamin D, get the sun. Vitamin D is a big thing. Zinc is a big thing. If you can't get the vitamin D from the sun, take a supplement. Start stocking up on zinc and vitamin D. I'm not sure if you can get colloidal silver where you're at, but that's another thing. And if you're at around a store that you can buy a nebulizer to use it in case somebody did contract the illness, that might be a good idea as well. There's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of information about all that on the internet. So I just want to talk about life in Thailand right now. It's still, from here looking out into the world, we're blessed. We're blessed. And I might be coming at you with some more information as to what I do know regarding some of these issues that aren't really being talked about, which would explain to a lot of you all, if you're in the same situation as me, where you look at this and go, some of this just doesn't make sense. Because I said this, it's like, this is all overkill. This is like the flu. No, 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 no. No, it isn't the flu. this is serious, and that's why you see the response around the world. Of course, governments aren't going to come out and tell you. You see the response, and that should be indication of the severity of this. But they're not going to come out and create full-scale panic. And so, just wanted to pass this on to you and check in with you, let you know that myself and our family are doing well here, and I wish you all were here and we could sit around, bump elbows, and talk about this. But for right now, this is what we got. So take care of yourself, stay well, and I'll be seeing you in more videos. If you want to reach out to me or whatever, my email, retiredcheap@gmail.com, and just stay well, okay? Until I talk to you again, JC out. See ya. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.